Hey YouTubers, Mike Martin's here, Mike Martin's channel. Thanks for joining me. I wanted to make this video. I feel compelled that I need to make this video for you guys. And it's basically where I went wrong with the housing market in my predictions. And where other economists went wrong. Where other trends forecasters and people that are watching what's going on in the housing and all the markets too, where they went wrong. And I think I found why we didn't crash. I predicted a crash in the summer of 2017. It never happened. I predicted a crash before that. It never happened. And the reason why it never happened, even though you see teardowns for $1.8 million, and you see condos for $1 million, one bedroom for going for like $700,000. There's a reason. And there's a reason why I've been wrong this whole time. Because there is so much underlying things happening. Forget the negative, forget like zero interest rates, forget rates going up, forget about all that crap. Just housing as a commodity, okay? Not an asset. Think of housing as a commodity, okay? Not something you buy and grow. And I'm talking about, look at it as a commodity like you trade in the stock market. And there's so many underlying things happening that there's no way that I don't care who, the greatest real estate / guru of the world will have the same problem I have in the last 5-6 years I've been making these videos. There's what's been underlying for the longest time and why this housing crisis will be different than all other housing crises in the history of housing crashes is one little thing. I've touched on it quite a few times, but it's so underlying and so manipulatively played on us that it's really hard to fathom how screwed we are. Okay? And I think what I'm saying, the same thing is going to apply for people living in Australia, New Zealand, the UK, Canada. Not really too much in the United States yet. But it's a huge problem, and I started putting 1 and 1 and 2 and 2 together to try and figure out why is this happening. And I've already come to grips that I could never afford in the city of Vancouver. So what I did was I left and I bought this 9-10 bedroom house I bought with 6 bath for $260,000. I know I say this a lot, but I need people to know that there is a hope out there. That yes, existence is, there is places where you could lay roots and raise a family. And that's what I wanted to do. That's why I left. But all these underlying things that are happening, and I think the one thing is that we're being left in the dark. And I think what's happening is I'm starting to tie things together. I already knew this. Most people know this already. But one thing I want to add is the reason why we haven't had a housing crash, and I bring this up in every 2 videos I make, is because our housing market is tied to our economy. So markets crash within minutes and overnight and within days, but economies take longer to crash. And I keep saying the same thing over and over because this is what's happening. We are so heavily tied into the housing market, construction, all the different aspects that go into fabricating and building homes. Okay. Now, this is the key. This is what I think is going to happen. Okay. Is there going to be a housing crash? In a normal housing market like I predicted last year and the year before, there should have been a crash. But what's holding us back? I think this is what it is. And by the way, I bit my lip the other day. So, sorry about that. Just hurts when I talk. Canadians in the dark about immigration numbers, says survey. So this is an old article from 2014. How long have we been outside looking in to figure out what's happening in our own country? I don't care where people come from. My parents we all came from Portugal. When we came in, it was rigorous. You have to assemble a sentence in English. You have to know the national anthem. You have to do doctor's tests and what do you call it? Physicals. You have to get all these different shots. You have all this lineup of things to do to make sure you're not sucking off the healthcare. Like a lot of things, And then you have to have a job that's going to sponsor you. There was a lot of, my parents came in. It wasn't just, a walk in the park. It was a lot of work. So what's happened is I think a lot of these countries that I keep talking about, I think we're in the dark about how much immigration's coming in. And I'm not worried about the people that come in that want to build a future and kind of work hard and raise a family and send their kids to school. I don't care where they come from. But I'm more worried about people that come in with a lot of money that buy out our futures, buy out our kids' futures and grandkids' futures. They won't even have a running start. And what's scaring me is this. This is what's been scaring me is we are in the dark about immigration numbers. And this is the one major underlying thing that we've never factored in. This housing. We have. Oh, let's blame the Chinese. Let's blame this. Let's blame rich investors. Let's blame that. But we haven't really factored in on how many are coming. Now, you're probably saying to me, Mike, what the hell are you talking about? Like, they're starting to set it up where, only Canadians could buy and blah, blah, blah and stuff like that. Or they're trying to set it up where, they're trying to change the laws and stuff. But now they're fast-tracking immigration a lot faster. And this is the article that opened my eyes. And I've brought it up a million times on my channel. This one. Canada wants more Chinese workers, students, tourists, says immigration minister. So why did this scare the crap out of me? Is because when you go to statistics, the Canadian Statistics Bureau or whatever, it never shows the correct numbers of how many people work. Everyone keeps bringing that up in the comments section in my channel. But look at this. So they have visas increasing from China about 500,000 per year. Opening more visa offices could help Canada compete for more Chinese worker students in lucrative tourist business. So that's a lot of people. And the problem is, the reason why our housing market hasn't sank is when a lot of rich, lucrative people come to Canada, a lot of them want to own their own place, right? And you don't blame them, especially if they have a lot of money. But the problem is, I think the reason why our housing market hasn't sank, yes, it is tied to our economy, but it's being fueled by foreign capital. Yes, we know this already. But how much is it? How much really is happening? How much rich investors are really coming in and making that difference? I think it's enough to tilt the scale to a point where, so is there going to be a housing crash? There will be. And I'll explain to you how it's going to work. There will be a housing crash to come. Maybe this year, maybe early next year. We're going to see after Q1's numbers, first quarter numbers. What's going to happen is who's going to crash? I think it's the Canadian proper. The people that actually work and actually pay a mortgage and live from check to check. Those are the people that are going to crash. I think a lot, and that's going to bring in, if you bring in 500,000 a year, you could sell those empty homes. The 100,000 empty units we have around the city, that's nothing. That could be gobbled up within months. So I think the plan is the playing the field is bringing as much lucrative people, businessmen or businesswomen or business families as we can to help offset the housing crisis. The Canadian proper will lose, but I think that other people will move in and gobble up the properties quicker than you guys could. But then people are going to comment in the comments below saying, no, Mike, there's capital outflow or capital protections on capital flow from, but if people are fast-tracked immigration, then that I think changes, because then if you become Canadian, then that allows you to move your assets to another country, right? So I think, I don't know what's happening, because it's scary, because Canada, I think it's losing its identity. I think Canada's losing a lot when it comes to what Canada is about. And once we lose that, we become like a lot of those countries that people are leaving. And I don't want that to happen, and it's very scary. And a lot of people tell me, Mike, what do you care? You have a big house and land, and what are you worried for? I'm like, well, I'm worried because my kids and their kids, they don't have a chance. They don't stand a chance right now. Even with the best education and the best mannerism, the best, all the butt kissing in the world will get them nowhere. All the education and all the help will get them, and I'm not trying to put anyone down. I'm just, calling a spade a spade. We've sold out. I think Canada has sold out. Canada's sold out so much that I think now they're actually, the housing market is depending on more wealthy immigrants and fast tracking immigration. What happened to Canada being the country where somebody comes with a backpack and 10 cents in their pocket and starts working at a dishwasher and then moves up to becoming a restaurant manager and then eventually owning their own restaurant and hiring people, whatever happened to that kind of, by paying off your house in 5 years? I don't know, guys. I think that's what the plan is. I think there's going to be a housing crash, but it's going to be mainly for the Canadian proper, I'm talking about people from all over the world that have come and have taken mortgages in the last 8 years, I think, or 5 years, or even 10 years. You know why? Because a lot of people played out their equity, and now they're at wit's end right now. If they played up their equity and took everything that was there. So let me know what you guys think. I think we're in the dark when it comes to, people keep commenting in my comment section, Census Canada, and what the numbers are and stuff. I don't believe it. I see something different, and then we are told something else. I think we are definitely in the dark. There are a couple of countries. I think France and Germany, or France, Germany, England are several countries that do not keep track of their immigration record, like immigration, how many come in. I think that there's a couple of countries that don't care who's coming in. Like, they care about who's coming in, but they don't keep track of where they're coming from in numbers, statistics, so people could see. I don't know why this is happening. I want to know what you guys think. I want you guys to comment below and give me some good, strong comments in the comment section. Thanks for watching, guys.